Good afternoon, welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, my name is Reese 4Piece from KFC or Wiki Triple XL, and in this review I'm having a look at this absolutely fantastic LG 34WN650. So as I mentioned, it is a 34-inch, that's always the corner-to-corner size, and this being a 21:9, it's actually more like a 27 that's got extra screens attached to the side of it, more or less is the best way that I could describe using the product. This is actually the first time I've ever used a 21:9 in a review. I have used them elsewhere, but usually they're reserved for Mad Lad kind of specs and Mad Lad kind of prices. This is a lot more reasonable. The 34-inch panel you see behind me is in fact an IPS 75Hz panel with FreeSync. The other little trick it's got up its sleeve is HDR, which it does actually pretty damn well. One of the chief things you'll be curious about, I'm sure, if you've used IPS before, is how bad the glow is. It's really not bad at all, I have to say. It really only came into effect on the top right and left hand side corner when I was using it, but it was kind of offset by the viewing angle, which is something that was a bit strange with this monitor. It's really the only sort of drawback, if you could call it that. The monitor itself is definitely going for a crossover between a work and gaming sort of space with that IPS technology, and then giving it a 75Hz FreeSync. It's kind of an in-between there, and I really like what they've done with that. As far as the look and feel of the monitor goes, it's exceedingly elegant. Everything's finished in white and silver, and it looks really good. If this was on a corporate environment kind of desk or something to that effect, it's gonna look the part, that's for sure. The overall build quality is really good. Well, being LG, you would expect it to be, right? But they have checked that box quite nicely. The back panel is very similarly set up to the other UltraGear monitors. This is actually still underneath the UltraGear banner, which is a bit weird because all of those are black and red for that gamer-esque environment feel, whereas this is silver and white. Nice periscope neck on it as well, is really nice to have. It doesn't really tilt or anything like that, so you'll have to adjust the base in order to get it angled at you correctly. The resolution effective is 2560 by 1080, which is kind of like 1.5 times Full HD, so it doesn't actually take a lot to drive it, and most cards that are comfortable on 16:9 Full HD run on here pretty comfortably. The only time I actually ran into some frame rate limitations was in Cyberbug when I was playing with RTX on though, and then it was dropping about 10 to 15 frames lower than usual. But everything else was almost identical. So when I see this monitor being strong and having like good use case scenarios, because of the price, it actually makes it quite a nice panel for doing design. While the resolution isn't the highest ever, it's enough that you can put two windows side by side and work off of a single panel. So if you were to cut it down the middle, you kind of get like two 19-inch sort of monitors or two 24-inch monitors sort of worth of real estate, corner to corner. It is really nice for that, and in big open world games like Cyberpunk, it really makes it. And especially when I was playing Tarkov, the HDR and the effect of the extra wide environment actually made me think that they had made updates to the game. I was busy arguing with my friend going, no, there's just these reflections and stuff look so much better, until I realized it was actually the HDR on the panel itself. The color palette as well is really easy to work with. It takes vibrance like there's no tomorrow. You can't actually max it out, which is really good. It does start to bleed out on the max vibrance setting, and the default monitor settings are pretty good. The OSD, once again, is being executed through a joystick over here in the middle, and it's got enough settings that you could do brightness, contrast, and all of that sort of stuff quite comfortably. The max brightness isn't too retina burning on this one either. The only sort of like roadblock that I ran into was actually when you're using this thing dead on, the sides of this, especially in the HDR mode, can be, well, a little bit dim. That's why I was saying it sort of eliminates that IPS glow in a lot of ways, but it really is exceedingly nice for big open world environments. I did miss having 144. I would really like to see this come in like a 144 package as well. I think that will be absolutely fantastic. And the graininess just isn't there like I saw on the 27. This didn't give me that effect. Maybe it was because I was sitting a little bit further back from the panel. because you need to. But I don't know, it looked really good. The colors feel absolutely fantastic on this monitor with the IPS. It is 99% sRGB color palette, so there is that. All in all then, with the periscope neck and with the ultra wide, I think the price point is extremely good. I think if you're more casual gaming and playing stuff like The Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk and big open world RPG environments or strategy games is your main, then this is a really good option for that. For playing back media, etc., it is nice to have the 21:9. It is becoming steadily more and more supported by media companies and movie houses, etc. So I definitely see a future for it. This panel at the price is extremely well executed. It's really good value for money. Typical 3-year warranty from LG as well. So they're obviously quite confident in its build quality, and they really should be. It is really, really nice. Anyway, that is all we have time for today. If you have enjoyed this, then hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.